What a lovely, brisk, cold morning. Looks lovely, but it's a bit on the cold side. Yeah, it's lovely and warm, ideal for working on cars. Hello, welcome back up to Mechanic Garage. It's a bit on the cold side. The plan was to get this finished today. As long as it warms up, we might be all right. I've got a cambelt to do and sort out that strut on that side with the rotating thing. So we'll see what happens after this. Right, during the week I've had a couple of evenings where I've had a bit of time to do stuff. So I have had this off, cleaned it all out, done the valve clearances, put a new gasket on. So even though this bit is dead soft, like it was on the original one, as soon as you took it off, it was absolutely rock hard all the way around. So while it was off, did the valve clearances, new gasket. As you see in the previous video, the gasket down there is sorted. I've had to set this back off because a little black cap there is your gearbox refill, and the drive shaft fell out because on one night in the week I removed this strut and sorted it out. Now I'll show you on the other side what the issue is. Underneath this nut, which I've obviously prepared earlier, yeah, except it's all frozen together. Yeah. Right, you can see that top nut there. It's only a thin one, but below that stepped out piece here, there is a washer. That shouldn't be there. That should be below it. So basically, what it's done is it's allowing the top spring mount to sit wherever it likes, instead of being square on. Up there, can't really see anything. Up there, that white bit there is just sitting wherever it feels like, because it hasn't got this centerpiece through the middle to clamp it. So I'll be getting on with that. Cam belt, as I say, it isn't too bad, although it does look a bit worse there. But I've got a new one anyway, because if I'm buying a car and I don't know about cars, cam belt being done sounds like an expensive job. Although on this it's not, but it's a good thing for selling a car. Same as new gearbox oil, new coolant, new engine oil, new coil pack by the looks of it. 4 good tyres, 5-6 months MOT. So fingers crossed it'll sell quickly. Get on with the Rover and then we'll start from there. Right, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see of this, so I'll just get on as much as I can. Just got to get the brake pipe off, and a couple of anti-roll bar link, things like that, and then drop this strut out, drop it down, and we're all right. All being well. Now these should come out, but you never know. Or it could just spin. Okay. The bottom end came off instead. That was a bit easier. But it could be actually that's gonna be a right pain in the backside. I wasn't really intending doing that. If I can get that out of the way. Yeah, that's going to be a right pain, I think. Although this got to go down, that's got to... We'll see. We'll see what happens. At least I can tighten it up while it's off. 16. Yep, 16 mil in there. Okay, that's spinning, that's a good thing. This side's spinning, that means it's not seized. Although it's got a handy flat on it. Put keys in the ignition. Window's frozen, so I can't actually shut the door because I don't want to shut it with my keys in, because I've done that before. That's for the 17 on that bottom one. Mixtures of 16s and 17s. Let's freed that up. Okay, that's coming out already. Get the ABS wiring off. I did the other side by torchlight one night. That was a really bad idea. Absolutely terrible idea. Too many shadows, too many spanners going missing. As soon as it goes out of sight, it's gone. Alright, let's get the bar in there, separate the bottom ball joint. What I will do first though is tighten up that top nut so it takes a bit of the downward pressure off. Downward pressure, downward movement, I mean. It's a bit more solid now, so I've got something to knock against. Yeah, that's moving, that's okay. Ball joint off. Steering this way. Probably pull the drive shaft out. Did on the other side. Alright, that's that out of there. Undo the nut. And try and get this out because I've got that anti-roll bar link on, which is a bit of a pain. There we go. Right, I can tighten that up now. I'll take it off. midweek messing about. Midweek? It's only Monday. Feels like midweek. Been a long day. That spring does not look right. I've got the strut off. Bit of a pig to get out, but it's off. This top actually rotates fairly smoothly, but this is not right. I don't know what's going on with it, but that's not right. I'll take it apart and have a look. Right, I've got the spring off. I will do the other one on camera. This was more like to see if I could find out what was what. Turns out this washer sits here, not on top of that. So it's been put together wrong. There's nothing actually wrong with the original strut mounts. They actually turn, but now it's off and I've got new ones. I'm going to fit them, but that explains everything. Why the spring wouldn't sit straight, why it was scraping and catching. It just wasn't lining up properly. So hopefully now, get this back in, this will straighten itself, because as it's sitting now, that and the angle, it should be square. But we'll find out in a minute when I put it back together. Well, at this point, I doing this today and found out the microphone was either off or had packed up. Suddenly comes on later on further in another clip. However, the whole reassembly, well, stripping and reassembly of this strut, which was the opposite side, is completely without sound, as is all the bits further ahead of this. So basically, I'll just have to chat about what I'm doing, which is using the finest Chinesium spring compressors and gently using the battery gun. As soon as the spring goes loose, you can undo the top nut, and you'll see it as it was on the other one a minute ago, with the washer in the wrong place. There's your nut off. There's your top cover. And there's the washer that's in the wrong place. Right, there's the new top mount. The old one's a bit perished and everything. That turns nicely. That's what your spring sits on. So with that washer back in the right place, it should all line up nicely. Clean it all up, pull it through. This is just me talking about what I can see. So yeah, put that in there, do that, do this, spin that, and eventually you put a nut on it, like that. That's the one. Put that nut on it. The washer's now in the right place. It'll centralise that white collar, and we should all be back together and all be good. Basically tighten that centre nut up to the specified torque setting, which is FT. That's very tight, and then we'll line the spring, and then it will not film me actually undoing the spring compressors. And joy of joys, here we are again. Another clip where the microphone was off. I don't know why it was off. I don't think it went wrong. I think I turned it off when I did something else. So basically, I'm going to cut this piece out, refitted the strut, and bolt it all together. Yeah, all going well so far. Right, that's all it back together. Just putting the anti-roll bar link back on. The top nut, I can't remember at this point whether I tightened it up or not. I think I'll wait till I got the weight of the car on it, but everything's done. Unfortunately, any second now we're going to see a bit of an issue that I had, because you can see, if you see there's a bit of a drip right in the middle of the screen. Somehow I managed to bend the brake pipe where it goes into the caliper. Right, I'll just grab the camera. There you go, and you can see what's happened. That little bit there, it was leaking, so I must have bent it by accident when I was putting the pipe back. However, if it's that brittle and that weak, I would rather it have broken now than when it's actually on the road. So that's a good thing that happened. It's a bit of a dodgy design anyway. I mean, there's a lot of leverage on that union, and as soon as I moved it, it broke off. Yeah, here we go again. No sound. I did the cam belt after that, so I pulled the bottom pulley off, bottom belt off. Just undo these. There's a series of them on the end. Doesn't really mean a lot because you're not going to see much of it now. But basically, crack these off, then I buzz them out with the gun. The Torx bit don't like battery guns from tight, so just crack them off first if you're going to use one. Yeah, once you get that out of the way, then there's a little bit more, another bracket below that needs to come off, so you undo another series of bolts, get all those loosened, and then you can take that out, wriggle it around a little bit, it'll come out. Just a bit of fiddly down the side of the engine. There you go, out she comes. Next bit is lining up the engine. You wind it around until you can get the get the 8mm pin through there, or an 8mm drill bit in this case. It's going to be a sliding fit, nice and snug fit into there, and then you can see where it needs to go. As you look closely, then it slides into that hole in the head behind it. There was no timing mark at the bottom, invisible, so I magically put one there. Doesn't matter if it's 180 degrees out, it'll still be in the same place, and there'd be no issues with it as long as the belt goes back in the right place. So there you go, there's your tensioner. You need to undo that. Once you've cracked that off, you've got to wind it backwards, take the tension off it, leaving that pin in there, and as soon as that's all nicely loosened off, you can get the belt off. It's a bit snug down the bottom. You unhook it around the bottom pulley and chuck it out. Now, it wasn't looking that old, so the way you check it on an old belt, bend it back on itself, and you can see on the edge of the teeth of the cracking. Well, this one wasn't, although I didn't know how old it was. It's a selling point, really. Before you do it, I'd already checked the numbers on there, make sure I got the right one. So best bet, if you can do, check it before you take it out. So then just compare it against the new one, make sure that it's right. Pay attention to the direction arrow, so you know which way around it goes. And then you can get it back in position, making sure nothing's moved, which the bottom pulley had slightly there, so I was having to realign it. So get the belt back on, keeping the tension on the long side, so the tensioner can take it up. Adjust the tensioner on that side. This is really tedious because I wasn't actually doing it. Once you've set it up, then you wind the engine around twice. That basically settles the belt, and also make sure that when you get back round to the end, you can then check that your timing mark's still in the same place. The belt did go on a bit further than that, it hadn't settled. So once you get round full 2 marks again, you can put your pin back in, and then have a look at the bottom. That's your tensioner, the little point set up so it points at the V, at the slot in there. Everything's all alright, you can put it back together. Don't forget to set that pin out. I've done it before, not on this engine, but on a different one where I left that in. Right, I've just ordered a new brake pipe online, 15 quid, but I can't get one locally for less than 30. So it's not going to go anywhere between now and Saturday. Hopefully it should be here by then. So next job, and other than cleaning, is drain the remains of the gearbox oil out and refill it. There's no level plug on them. It is literally 2 litres from empty. And so that's it. Just bang 2 litres in, job done. Just gonna make sure the drive shaft's in properly from when it was underneath, and we'll have a look at that. Right, it's all grotty and oily underneath from that engine oil leak. I need to wash it all off. I've just cracked the drain plug off. I haven't got a tripod that's that small under here anymore, so I apologise for the abysmal angles you're going to be getting. I'll just crack this off anyway, so I'm not expecting a lot of oil to come out of here. It'll just be whatever's below the drive shaft. More than I thought, to be honest. Yeah, basically, there's nowhere near 2 litres, that's for sure. You leave that to drain, and then fill it from the top. Right, now I've got you in this position. 75, 80, GL4 gear oil. That's what it specifies. GL5 is a different spec. God, the bottle's cold, so it's not very easy to open. It's basically just, now it's drained underneath, it's just straight 2 litres, 2 of these bottles. Yeah. And if you, I don't know if I can't make out what I'm looking at. Down there, there's a little breather cap on that down there, pulled out, you'll see in a second, maybe. And no level. It's not a case of topping up, you have to drain it and replace it. I'm going to try and get this in without spilling it everywhere. Hopefully that'll glug and fill itself. Right, that's it all back together. Gearbox oil in. I'll give it a quick wash off because I spilled a little bit on top. Little cable tie in there where that clip's missing to hold that solid. Cam belt's done, coolant's done, oil's done, filter's done, suspension's done. It's just that brake pipe to do. I've had to clamp it at the minute just so it doesn't leak all over the drive. Mold grip's not ideal, but the pipe's scrap anyway. So I think now is time to get it cleaned. Probably stick this into another video, the cleaning one, because it's been good on a while. It's what we're putting on Thursday at the minute. Thursday now, a couple of days off work before Christmas, and the weather at the weekend wasn't great, so I didn't get a lot done. So this time, I made the effort to actually get on with something, which has been alright. Apart from that brake pipe, it would have been finished if it weren't for that, and be able to get it done. But now, at least I'd rather it break when we move in it than it break once on the road. So I don't mind. I mean, 15 quid, it's nothing. So the other side was okay. Just need to get it hoovered out, cleaned up, and then get advertised for sale. Then I can start on the Rover, get that one gone, and then hopefully by that time the parts for the Skoda will be here, so I can start on the interesting stuff again, on the Wartburg bearings, rear hub, and the Skoda rear suspension, get it back on its wheels. Still quite a lot to do to that. I have got plans to take it to Belgium in, I think it's either end of August, September next year, so I've got plenty of time to get it done. There's a big Eastern Bloc meet there. There's a few of us talking about going over, Skodas, Ladas, things like that, usual Eastern Bloc clutter. But it needs to be on the road for that. But the longest drive I've ever taken it on, and the first time it's been abroad. That's my knowledge anyway. To see what happens, won't we? To get on with it, get it finished, and then go from there. So, thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Not the most interesting because you can't see an awful lot. It's all little bits working down inside the engine, working under the wheel arches. Unless you've got a camera strapped to my forehead, you can't see anything. And I didn't. So, all been well. Parts will be here soon. Get them done for the weekend. I'm going to go get it washed now. So you come back for another video on that. Cheers.